Today we are going to discuss about the basic concepts of arrays. Okay, so the main content is related to your module 3 topics. That is, we will be discussing about array, array declaration, array initialization, and a basic program related to this array. Okay, so what do you mean by array? And what is the need of array? See, you have already learned about the basic data types, right? In char, float, etc. So in order to store a particular data item, we can use those data types, right? That is int a. If you are declaring int a, what you're doing is you're actually reserving a 2-byte memory location in order to store integer type data value. That is, integer type actually needs 2 byte of memory space, and if you are declaring as int a, so a location named a will be reserved in order to store an integer data item. Suppose a situation, or assume a situation in which you have 10 different data items, either 10 integer data items or 10 character data items or floating point data items, etc. So if you have a collection of data items, you cannot go for this basic data types, right? Because there only you can do, or you can store only one or a single data item. So in such a case where you have more than one data items, you can go for arrays. Okay, so array is a data structure that represents a collection of same type of data. So array is a data structure that represents a collection of same type of data, which is shown in this figure also. See, in this figure, it is shown as you have an array of length 10. Let us assume that it is an integer array. Then what will happen? You have 10 different locations in which you can store 10 different integer data items. Okay, so this is the basic concept of array. And you can also see in this figure, like, see, each location is notated using 0, 1, 2 up to 9. It is an array of size 10, and each location is indexed. We can say that each location is indexed with the value 0 to 9. Okay, that is, these locations can be accessed using these index values. That is, array index 2 means you can access the third item in this array. Okay, so array is a data structure that represents a collection of same type of data which will be stored in a consecutive memory locations, and each of those elements can be accessed using index, and that index is also known as subscript of that particular element. Okay, so index or subscripts is mainly used for accessing that particular item. So an array is a collection of one or more values of same type. Each value is called an element of the array, and the elements of the array share the same variable name, but each element has its own unique index number. That is, see, integer array A means, see, all the elements can be notated, or they have the name A, or collectively we can call it as an array A, but the individual items can be accessed using this index number or subscript. Okay, so you can create different arrays such as integer type array, float array, character array, etc. So if the collection of values are of type integer, you can call it as an integer array. If it is a collection of characters, you can call it as a string. Okay, so what makes a difference is you will need, or you have to you'll be having different sized locations in order to store these data values. That is, if you are creating an array of integer data value of size 5, then 5 consecutive locations will be reserved for storing integer data item, and each location will be having size of what, 2 byte, because in order to save a particular integer item we need 2 byte space. So integer array of size 5 means 5 into 2, 10 byte. In a total 10 byte we are reserving in order to store this 5 locations. So that is the concept behind array. Okay, so let us discuss how to declare the array variables. For declaring array variables, you can use this syntax, that is data type, array name and size of the array. Okay, so for example, for basic items, for single data reservations and all, or for storing a single or a single item, what you're doing is data type and that variable name, right? Instead of that, you need to specify size of the array also, because you need to mention how much or location you have to reserve for that particular array. And examples are also shown here. That is, float cgpa 10 means this name of the array is cgpa, and it is a floating type array, and we are reserving 10 different locations in order to store this array. Okay, and as we have already discussed, character array is known as string. Okay, and this string, it is a string and its name is name. Okay, and it is of size 15. That is, we are reserving 15 locations in order to save character type data. Here the last example shows, okay, int number 5 is an integer array of size 5. Okay, so hope you all got the point. So this is a basic concept, and let us discuss how to initialize values to arrays. Okay, so what we have done is we have reserved memory locations, and what we need to do next, we need to store data into those locations, right? Okay, in order to do that, we can either initialize array variables or we can give it at the runtime using scanf and all. That is a totally different case. Here, if you are going for this thing, that is, if you are directly giving values to those memory locations, if you are having a fixed valued array, you can directly give values to those locations. In that case, you can do the initialization in different ways. That is, the first one is the most basic thing. See, integer array of size 5 with the name num as declared. Along with that, you can specify what are the elements in that array. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the different elements of that array. So what will happen? This one will go to the location A of num of 0. This will go for num of 1, num of 2, num 3 and num 4. See, as this is a array of size 5, the indices or the subscripts will be ranging from 0 to 4. Okay, so an n size, the array of size n will be having the subscripts which will be ranging from 0 to n minus 1. Okay, otherwise you can do the initialization in this manner also. That is, if you are specifying all the elements, then it's need not to give the array size. That is, if you are doing initialization along with the declaration, and if you are very much clear about what all are the elements in that array, what you can do is you can also do like this. So by doing this thing, it is very much clear that, okay, we have actually 5 elements in this array, so we need to reserve an array of size 5. Okay, otherwise you can do or you can follow the below given method also. That is, one by one you can specify the elements. That is also another way of initializing array variables. Okay, and you may be thinking like this, like, if we are not giving all those if we are not specifying all those elements, then what will happen? See, in the last example, what happened is we haven't specified the fourth or fifth element. We only have first three elements, right? So in such cases, what will happen is by default, those locations will be initialized with the value 0. So the first element will be 1, second element will be 2, third element will be 3, fourth and fifth elements will be what? 0 and 0. Okay, so this is the basic concept of array. So array is a collection of one or more values of the same type that will be reserved in or that will be stored in consecutive memory locations, and in order to access those elements we will be using subscripts. So a of I means what? We can access a particular I plus one element of that particular array. Okay, that is, see, in this example, a of I means, see, a of 3 means we will be accessing the fourth element. A of I, that is a of 3 means we are accessing I plus 1, that is 3 plus 1, fourth element in this particular array. So this is the basic concept of array, and hope you all are clear about the concepts that we have discussed till now. So let us move to a particular example with this array concept. So see, in this case what we are, or in this program what we are doing is, we already have a particular array. See, in the previous one we have discussed how to initialize values to particular array while declaration, right? So likewise we have done, or we have created a particular array and we have stored 5 different marks of a particular student that he or she got for a particular exam. Okay, so these are the 5 marks he got for a particular subject, and he need to sum up all these in order to get the total marks. Okay, so what we can do is, see, as we have already told, either we can initialize the values to this particular array, otherwise we can accept the values or get the values to that particular location using scanf statements. So in general cases, in normal cases, for a particular single item, what we used to do, scanf percentage %d. If it is an integer type, then scanf percentage %d. And if that particular location is A, if we reserved a location with the name A, then we will be getting, or we will be storing value like ampersand A, right? So similarly, here we can store the value using this statement, that is scanf percentage %d ampersand marks of I. Here a particular location can be accessed using its particular subscript or index, so that we can access that particular location using ampersand marks of I. And the index values are ranging from 0 to 4. In order to access all these, we can use a for loop so that it will be more easier, right? So for I is equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. After iterating this loop, we'll be getting values from 0 to 4, and we can store the user inputted values to this particular memory locations. So initially we will be declaring the, as we already discussed, we are declaring a particular array and we can get the values to those particular location using this syntax. Okay, and this one, it is more it will be like easy for you, right? That is what we have done is, using this similar for loop, we have accessed each values and we have summed up all together in order to get the total marks. So this is how we can access array elements, and we can do programs on the group of items, such as this usage of array, or this application of array can be used in various applications. I mean, see, for sorting and all, or for linear search, or if we have a collection of elements with the same type, that is in any application in which you have a collection of items of same type and you need to do with that particular collection of data, in all such cases you can use arrays. Okay, so this is a basic concept behind arrays. So that's all about today's lecture. Thank you all.